Peace and infinite blessings to all of you out there. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. We are here studying the lessons of A Course in Miracles. I am in my version of heaven on earth here in the Ocala National Forest in the morning, enjoying the sounds and the smells and the sights. And I'm so satisfied with this. I hope that you have a place that you love, that's your version of heaven on earth, that satisfies you. Today we're going to be digging into lesson 123, 1, 2, 3. All is in perfect order. We're marching with our ducks in a row and all of that kind of good stuff. 1, 2, 3 makes me feel like we're building something together and that this is part of our foundation of the life that we're building together. So that's my take on it. What does 1, 2, 3 mean to you, or how does it make you feel? I don't know. All right. I thank my Father for his gifts to me. Today, let us be thankful. We have come to gentler pathways and to smoother roads. There is no thought of turning back and no implacable resistance to the truth. A bit of wavering remains, some small objections, and a little resistance, but you can well be grateful for your gains, which are far greater than you realize. A day devoted now to gratitude will add the benefit of some insight into the real extent of all the gains which you have made, the gifts you have received. Be glad today in loving thankfulness. Your Father has not left you to yourself, nor let you wander in the dark alone. Be grateful he has saved you from the self you thought you made to take the place of him and his creation. Give him thanks today. So today's all about gratitude. What are you grateful for? Let that flow into your mind while you're listening to this or reading along with this. Give thanks that he has not abandoned you and that his love forever will remain shining on you forever without change. Give thanks as well that you are changeless, for the Son he loves is changeless as himself. Be grateful you are saved. Be glad you have a function in salvation to fulfill. Be thankful that your value far transcends your meager gifts and petty judgments of the one whom God established as his Son. Today in gratitude, we lift our hearts above despair and raise our thankful eyes, no longer looking downward to the dust. We sing the song of thankfulness today in honor of the self that God has willed to be our true identity in him. Today we smile on everyone we see and walk with lighted footsteps as we go to do what it is appointed us to do. We do not go alone. And we give thanks that in our solitude, a friend has come to speak the saving word of God to us. And thanks to you for listening to him. His word is soundless if it be not heard. In thanking him, the thanks are yours as well. An unheard message will not save the world, however mighty be the voice that speaks, however loving the message may be. Thanks be to you who heard, for you become the messenger who brings his voice with you and lets it echo round and round the world. Receive the thanks of God today as you give thanks to him, for he would offer you the thanks you give, since he receives your gifts in loving gratitude and gives them back 1,000 and 100,000 more than they were given. He will bless your gifts by sharing them with you. And so they grow in power and in strength until they fill the world with gladness and with gratitude. Receive his thanks and offer yours to him for 15 minutes twice today. And you will realize to whom you offer thanks and whom he thanks as you are thanking him. This holy half an hour given him will be returned to you in terms of years for every second. Power to save the world eons more quickly for your thanks to him. Receive his thanks, and you will understand how lovingly he holds you in his mind, how deep and limitless his care for you, how perfect is his gratitude to you. Remember hourly to think of him and give him thanks for everything he gave his Son, that he might rise above the world, remembering his Father and his self. And we are grateful to be God's son, God's daughter, if that makes you feel a little bit better. We are grateful today. We are told here at the beginning of the lesson that there's still a little bit of resistance in our lives, maybe a lot of resistance, and some drama. It's still there. But at this point, at lesson 123, we have learned enough to know that there is another way of looking at the world. You do, if you choose to do the work, you do have the option of focusing on how everything that's happening in your life right now is showing you yourself. If you have to take some time away and work on your feelings, your bad feelings about someone else, or, whatever irritates you, you need to take some time and let those feelings flow through you and be with them and, whatever you need to do. But if anything is bothering you, it's showing you something about yourself. I think that's just where I'm at with the Course. And maybe that's not where you're at. Maybe you're well beyond me. I don't know. But I'm grateful for the knowledge of this self-study system that I have here in my hands that is teaching me that everything is a reflection of my own mind, my subconscious, unrealized potential and unrealized judgments and resentments and grievances that are hidden in there. And they show themselves when I'm usually not expecting it and not ready for it, and it throws me off a little. But then things subside and kind of get back into a place of peace, and I can be grateful, and I don't know. Everything feels pretty quiet in my mind this morning. Here and there, some memories of things come up for me, and it just shows me there are unhealed places in me. There's this 17-year-old girl that's still super alive in me, who has, moments of her own expression in my life. Here I am in my mid-40s and my 17-year-old is visiting me. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. And I'm not ashamed of her. I think I've spent a lot of time in my adult life looking back when I was a teenager and a younger person, judging the crap out of myself. Oh my gosh, that isn't helping the healing and the awakening and the opening process, to look back and feel shame about anything. So I think that's another place of healing for a lot of us, is to not have any regrets, just to know that you were exploring being in a human body, doing whatever you felt like you needed to do at the time, and forgive yourself and let it go. I think that's important to remember. So I did grab Ken Wapnick's book today. Hang on a second. Got to do the switch. And I wanted to read a little bit more about how we can help each other during this incarnation, because I think something that happens to people who really get into their spiritual practice, and this is sort of a protection move, is we want to renunciate. Like, look at me. I'm out here in the woods. I'm the only human that's walking around. I have had this feeling like I just want to be by myself. I don't know if I want to be in a relationship anymore. Like, all these thoughts come through my mind that really look more like renunciation and isolation. And what the Course tells us, there's a section in the text that Ken picks out for this particular lesson about gratitude and sharing our gifts with our brothers and sisters, even if this whole world is illusory, right? Even if everything that we're doing is really just, we've cast this person or this situation or event in our movie that we're making in our mind. Even if all that is true, there is an aspect of us doing our due diligence that must be played out here. Even if we know that it's all an illusion, there's something about us participating and having a lucid dream that has to do with the traits of teachers of God, that we are gentle, unconditionally loving, open-minded, trustworthy, honest, souls incarnated in human bodies that are here to help others. I mean, there's a shadow side to helping, because it gets into shaming and getting up on your soapbox and sort of proselytizing and judging. However, when you can notice that and pull back from that and just connect heart to heart with your brothers and sisters on this planet, be the space holder for whatever anyone's going through, and just offer your loving, gentle assistance. And just your time, even just your presence could be something that's extremely powerful and extremely helpful. And what this little passage I'm about to read tells you is it makes the gains faster for everyone. It's not like you become head of the class and you're the new Jesus in town, right? I mean, we all have the Christ mind and all of that, but we're not striving to be the best. We're striving to share what we have. And if you know that you are in a good place in your life, then give your time, give your heart, give your ideas, share your wisdom. And then also just really respect this other person as an equal to you, because you really don't know what they're going through, where they came from, where they're headed, and you might be able to just get them a little bit further along their journey where they have more space and more capacity. Okay, so I'll read this section, and what Ken does is he breaks down like every sentence in bold in his workbook here, and then does his own little commentary, and then usually goes to the text and grabs a very poignant excerpt and adds it in. So I'll just go ahead and read the sentence from the lesson that he's referring to, his commentary, and the text excerpt. All right, so an unheard message will not save the world, however mighty be the voice that speaks, however loving may the message be. So that's if we keep things to ourselves. This is Jesus starting to tell us, okay, you've got to commune with your brothers and sisters. Not everybody's meant to be a renunciate living in a cave or a monastery. Jesus cannot save me until I choose to join with him. And this is Ken Wapnick's contribution. Salvation is a collaborative venture. Not only because I see my brother as one with me, but because I collaborate with him who represents salvation. This is Jesus' message of forgiveness, accepted and offered as one. And then here's the part from the text. As you come closer to your brother, you approach me. As you withdraw from him, I become distant to you. Salvation is a collaborative venture. It cannot be undertaken successfully by those who disengage themselves from the sonship, because they are disengaging themselves from me. God will come to you only as you will give him to your brothers. Learn first of them, and you will be ready to hear God. That is because the function of love is one. So, in our state of gratitude today, as we do our lesson and get those meditations in and those hourly remembering of that statement and that phrase, try to lean in to any relationships that you've been avoiding or any topics that you are just so far removed from. Reconsider, try to lean in, open your heart, offer yourself, because you have a gift. Now that you're immersed in these teachings, if you're on lesson 123 and you started at 1, you've got something really, really special in you. Even if it feels like your life is a little bit shaky, you're holding something. You're holding a light that can be shared in some way, and it's up to you to figure out how to do it. So speaking of sharing light, last night we had a small women's group meeting at the house, at our goddess house, as we like to call it, and we did a meditation together. We sat around the fire, we sang songs, we did some chakra toning, which was really cool. One of our friends teaches this kind of stuff, and I just felt so grateful that I had the opportunity to create a beautiful moment with a small group of women, and that we had this space to just be really loving and open and authentic with each other. And a few people who said they were going to come decided not to come. And when I was reading this lesson this morning, I thought, yeah, it's that leaning in. Now, not to say that some nights you just have to take a night off and do your self-care and just not be, doing whatever was on the calendar. But if given the opportunity to lean in, do so. Push yourself a little bit. It's totally worth it. It helps the salvation of the world, of the planet, of the universe, of everything. And just know that it's getting you used to what life is actually about. It's all about giving. It's all about giving. There's nothing else that we really need to do. I mean, hiding, the renunciate in a way could just be hiding. But when you're brave enough to be around other people who may not see things the way you do, and you still want to love them and you still want to help them, you are part of the salvation of the world. You are representing God in that moment during those times. And it's something to be really, really proud of and grateful for. So have a wonderful day and enjoy your lessons, enjoy a day of gratitude, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.